Let's talk about your experiences on social media because, your Twitter story is pretty fascinating. The Twitter files have been pretty fascinating. I personally am waiting for the YouTube files to come out because I feel like I'm going to have a story a little bit like yours. But what happened? Explain people your journey with Twitter, what happened, and then when Elon Musk asked you to come in and he kind of opened up the kimono so you could really see what happened. It's an important story.
Yeah, so in August of 2021, I decided to join Twitter. Right, so I'd never been on Twitter before. I think you can see how naive I was, Brian. I thought that all you really needed was to publish good science. All through my career, I told my graduate students, don't join Twitter, just write papers. Don't need to publish. This is how I say this as just to show people how naive I actually was. If any graduates are listening, I'm very, very sorry for giving you bad advice. I joined Twitter in August 2021 in order to get the message out, because I was really so obvious that Twitter was the place where you could reach politicians, you could reach journalists, you could reach other scientists, and it was, you get abused. It was, like Martin was on Twitter. You could see every time he'd post something, he'd get this great mix of people who were thanking him and for his insight, but also just heaps of abuse from people who didn't like what he was saying. And a couple of times, Martin had been censored on Twitter for saying completely sensible things, like on masks, on who should and shouldn't get the vaccine, so on. And he recommended that I go on Twitter as a way to sort of ensure that at least they didn't censor all three of us. If his account got censored, I could go on. And very quickly, my readership grew from, I think most had almost 100,000 people within a few days of joining, which is, I was floored. It's but 100,000, I wanted to reach 1 million. I wanted to reach as the largest audience as I could. And what I wanted was, I didn't just want supporters who would follow me because they agreed with me. I wanted to reach people that disagreed with me. I humans. I didn't want to be abused particularly, so I blocked people that were really abusive to me. But people who disagreed respectfully were like gold to me, right? They were people who I could reason with, I thought that was the purpose of Twitter. At least that was the purpose of Twitter for me. It was in order to get the message out to lots of other people. What I noticed was that I've got a lot of people who agreed with me. It was fantastic. And there's an adrenaline or whatever, like dopamine hit from that, where every time you post something, a lot of people agree with you. You're like, oh yeah, I'm doing well. The problem was that the social purpose of Twitter for me was to make my case to everybody else who didn't necessarily know about me or agree with me. And what I learned when Elon Musk took over Twitter was that the day I joined Twitter, I was put on something they call a trends blacklist, a blacklist. The Twitter put me on this trends blacklist the day I joined Twitter. And the blacklist, the way it works is I post something and my followers can see it, but the rest of the world, it's very unlikely that they'll ever see it. If you're not on a blacklist, there's some possibility that if somebody who's friends with someone who's you're friends with tweets it, and it'll end up in a part of the social network that you don't normally reach. And with the trends blacklist, there was no chance of that happening. My tweets could not go viral in that way. Everything looked fine to me. Before, when I was the blacklist, it looked like 100,000, 200,000 followers. It looked like had a pretty good reach. But the problem was there was the reach to the already converted, not to the people that I really wanted to reach my message to.
And so what was it? So did you notice that there wasn't a lot going on? And then were you ever taken off Twitter?
No, I was never. I was briefly suspended because there was some for a day. There was an incident where some journalist was doing some hit piece on me, and so I put the when did you stop beating your wife kind of questions online from the email that the journalist did, and then but it had that journalist's work phone number on there. And then it turns out that Taylor Lorenz of the Washington Post complained because I had that phone number there to Twitter, and they suspended me for a few hours until I took the tweet off. But other than that, I personally was never suspended. I did not have any strikes on me for things I had written. I just was blacklisted. Martin was suspended a couple of times because of masking, his comments on masking and vaccines. But that blacklist was insidious because it basically undermined the reason I was on Twitter to begin with, and I didn't even know it. From my personal point of view, it looked like I was doing fine. So it was really striking. It was like one of those things where like if they just told me I was blacklisted, I just would have not joined Twitter. I would try to get my message out some other way, not wasting my time. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he opens up the Twitter files. The Twitter files are basically just, he invited some independent journalists to look at some of the correspondence that Twitter had. And Barry Weiss of the Free Press wrote a story where I featured prominently as a person who was blacklisted by Twitter. The question, though, and you mentioned YouTube, the question is, why did these social media companies do this? I don't think, now that I've seen what I've seen, I don't think that they were acting solely alone, that they were just doing this out of like public mindedness to try to get the World Health Organization message out or something. I think they were doing, because, like these social media companies in the US are protected by a law called the Communications Decency Act, which allows them to allow me to say whatever I want on Twitter without them being responsible, right? They're not the ones responsible for what I say. They're just providing a platform. So why would they stop you, Brian, from going on YouTube? Why would they stop, or your things going on YouTube? Why would they stop me from saying what I want to say on Twitter? Their interest is to let reasonable, even unreasonable people have their say online. It turns out that the U.S. government was using its power to muscle social media companies, threatening this liability protection, that if they didn't censor the people they wanted censored, the ideas they wanted censored, that they would lose. The implicit threat was, and sometimes the almost explicit threat was, that they would lose their protection against liability from this against like, because they're a social media company, they're allowed to publish whoever they want without having to face that kind of liability. It's the governments of the world, specifically the U.S. government, I think also the U.K. government, used its power and to tell social media companies who to censor and what to censor. And I think this goes back to 2020, and it especially accelerated during the Biden administration. The reason I know this, by the way, is a lawsuit that I suspect you'll ask me about, yes. Brought by the Missouri and Louisiana Attorney General's offices against the Biden administration, where we got to read the emails of governments telling social media companies what to do and who to censor, what to censor. It was a gross violation of free speech rights.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, got to do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.